Nietzsche is unsurprised that at his time, opera seems to be the art form du jour. Such an art form would fit with the Socratic culture he negatively muses. What's Nietzsche's problem with opera? Since it is so lyrically driven and the music seems to be less of a priority, he is likely going to think of it as something more akin to the naive Homeric epic poetry that was not formed as a result of an understanding of the Dionysian. Nietzsche demeans opera as an art form for those who cannot appreciate the real foundation of art. Opera is more obsessed with words, phraseology, and an obsession with tracing back the origins of the good man. Nietzsche dismissed this artless art, for it is not based upon that animating tragic insight. One can see here how Nietzsche might be developing a ranking system or a litmus test for what qualifies as art and whether or not it is good art. Since opera takes its motivation from Socratism and borrows aesthetic elements, it's not only not art, but bad. Conversely, Greek tragedy, as the proper synthesis of Dionysian and Apollonian, is truly art. Why does Nietzsche ramble on so long about opera? And who cares? Could we not say that opera has died as well, or is on life support at least? What does it matter to us if opera is a bad and artless art form? Nietzsche seems to think there are reverberations, that maybe opera removed modern music further and further away from the Dionysian. And then we ask, so? The problem here is that if modern music is merely formal and pleasurable tone and out of touch with the Dionysian reality, we will have a mere superficial diversion rather than the truly life-affirming mechanism of tragedy with its synthesis of the Dionysian and Apollonian. Nietzsche, in a rare moment of optimism, intimates that a rebirth of tragedy may be possible in Germany given the gathering of intellectual and musical forces that grasp the tragic insight, though all this will be predicated on how much attention is given to his own diagnosis of this little miracle of tragedy the Greeks played with before the emergence of the theoretical man. Just for a point of clarification, we ought to have a good sense for Alexandrian and Buddhistic culture, but do we understand what Nietzsche meant by Hellenic culture? We might be able to deduce the following. If theoretical man drives Alexandrian culture to its limits, producing the tragic insight, we await reconnection with the Dionysian form of music to produce that perfect art form of tragedy possessed by the Hellenic people. If I understand Nietzsche correctly, he seems to think there are some German geniuses who have grasped the tragic insight, yet not enough has occurred at this juncture to re-enter the Hellenic and rebirth tragedy.